begin. So what are we excited about today? What are we talking about today?
Talking about the nominees for Game of the Year. Geoff Keighly's going.
Well, not just Game of the Year, but like the award show.
I don't care. I only care about Game of the Year.
Is this what I'm gonna get for like an hour?
Because I honestly believe it is going to be one of the most divisive Game of the Year award shows we've seen in a long time, especially if Death Stranding gets nominated.
I don't see how it can't not get nominated.
Can't not?
Yeah, I know it sounds weird because that's what I want it to sound like that.
According to you, grammar.
Yeah, I don't see how it can't
grammar
not get
wizard.
weird.
That's not even good grammar.
It's not. But I mean, you could argue that the game isn't a good game. So it all ties in together.
So what?
But the game, Death Stranding, isn't a good game, so it all ties in together.
Whoa, sir. I don't sign off on that.
Okay.
I do not. I don't ascribe to.
So you like Fetch Quest?
I like what he's setting up. I like the idea of what he designed. That the whole idea, the Fetch Quest is part of the whole idea of building a community. And I think that's something.
And you think it took 20 odd some hours between each cutscene to make that happen? It couldn't have been streamlined in any way?
I think it's one of those things where if you go back and look at his games, especially Metal Gear Solid 5, they were kind of fetch quests. In a sense. I think, did he take it too far? Yeah, I think he did. But you have seen multiple accounts of people still playing the game, putting in 70 hours after this game is over. Yeah. So that sense of community that you got, I'm sorry, I do not ascribe to that it is a terrible and it's not a great game.
I don't think it's a great game. I think it's fine.
But
I
you didn't even get to Port Knot City.
Yeah, but that's not the point. What I'm saying is, I got what it was.
But I guess what I'm saying is, there's no way you could have gotten that if you didn't get even a third of the way through the game.
But you're not a third of the way through the game.
I am.
No, you're not.
I'm at Port Knot City. I'm about to cross.
But you're in chapter 3?
Yeah.
There's like 9 chapters.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like 10 chapters.
Yeah, that's about a third of the way through.
You said a third.
That is a third.
That's not a third.
If I'm in chapter 3 and there's 9 chapters.
But there's 10.
Which one is it, 9 or 10?
Whichever one makes me happy. But no, I'll go back to the game for sure. It's not a game that I have to play right away. The one thing I do like about it is the idea of community. Seeing somebody's ladder and climbing it is great. Seeing somebody's little sign kind of give you a boost of encouragement. I didn't realize how much I would like that until I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool to see that.
And not only that, you share supplies. Did you do that?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I've been taking a lot of people's supplies back and getting likes. I don't really know what the likes do.
That's set up for later.
Okay.
I
have to play more of it.
I also think that that's an easy way to keep track of how you're doing. So,
Miles Cage.
What's up? So yeah, I honestly feel like I feel like this is going to be a very interesting year because I can appreciate your opinion. I may disagree with it, but I'm not going to be visceral and negative and nasty about it. Some of the people who were in the video game awards chat were nasty about it. Like, F. Kojima, he sucks.
I don't think he sucks. I think he does. I'll say this, and I've said it before, so it's not like me a fresh take. I think Kojima, like George Lucas, needs people to say no to him.
I've said that before. I told you.
I think people sometimes auteurs and geniuses need people to say no to them. That's all.
I think also you have people who, just because you create something, and I've seen this on other multiple channels, you may be the creator of something. You may have had a lightning in a bottle. But that doesn't mean going forward, your ideas are what is right for that property.
Yeah.
George Lucas created Star Wars. He had a lot of help. Lawrence Kasdan was instrumental. One of the best movies was one George didn't even direct, which is Empire Strikes Back. So with that being said, do I think Kojima needs a team around him that's able to say, see, game, I'm telling you, you're going to see Game of the Year, and then you're going to see Kojima sucks.
I think the issue with it is, and it goes back to, it kind of ties into Gamergate and people being like collusion, all that stuff, because Geoff Keighly, and I don't know him, but I think that he is professional enough to separate his love of Kojima and getting it nominated as a game. But I think people are going to conflate those two and be like, oh, he's friends with Kojima, so of course it's a Game of the Year contender.
I mean,
and the fact that he's in it doesn't help.
But let's be honest, we're going to see that no matter who. You were going to see that no matter who was the host.
Yeah, because we've seen their relationship publicly. I
understand it, but what I'm saying is you were going to see that regardless because of Kojima is...
Let's get it going, y'all. Supposedly.
I feel like you were going to see that regardless because that's how this industry, market is set up. So I'm interested to see what's gonna get. I think it's gonna be interesting. Why did you open? You're weird.
You're weird. I appreciate you being here, man.
I hate you.
You're the MVP. So we're essentially just waiting for this thing to kick off.
There we go. Okay.
But you put them on the same thing?
Yeah, because that is so annoying. I cannot do that. Because we need to be able to click back and forth. I want to say hi to the people in the chat: Miles Cage Jr., John G, IMAX, Edward Sanchez Productions. Good morning to you guys that it's morning. Good afternoon to you guys that it's afternoon. Good evening to you who are on a different time zone. For those of you, we're waiting on Mr. Keighly to kick this shindig off. Guys, what do you think is going to get nominated for Game of the Year? And is there a restriction? Like, is it 6 nominees and it can only be 6? Is it 8 nominees? Is it 5? What do you guys think is the Game of the Year for you that you want, the nominees that you want to see? It's going to be interesting if Resident Evil gets up there as a Game of the Year, considering it is a remake.
Yeah. I think the argument would be that, you know, they remix the story and stuff and all that. So, but yeah, for sure. Okay. You got a little thing going.
What thing going?
Little shit inside.
Excuse me. So guys, we're about to start this Game of the Year.
Says we're a minute 41. They're slightly ahead of us, but they always are.
So, what's the Game of the Year? Storm Shadow. What's up, Storm Shadow? What do you think are the...
Also, go ahead. Well, I was going to say, let me know if you guys can, how's the audio compared to the music audio with our volume talking. Let me know.
What do you expect to see nominated? Not just Game of the Year, but just in general.
I think games like Disco Elysium are going to get a lot of play. It's an RPG game dealing with like mental illness and kind of people's psyche, which is really great. It's on PC right now. It's supposed to come to PlayStation 4 and Xbox later next year, but that's a big one. I think if we're talking like console specific, people really like Luigi's Mansion 3. Pokemon Sword and Shield, you would think would get some love from Nintendo fans, but right now it's kind of divisive in terms of whatever.
Didn't it just come out a week ago?
Yeah. But see, that's kind of the issue too, right? How do you nominate something that just came out a week ago?
And honestly, didn't Red Dead Redemption have that problem?
When did Red Dead come out? October? November?
It came out in November.
November?
I want to say November.
Okay.
So, I mean, why are we behind?
So far behind? Because we're always behind on stuff. Let's see.
So,
on December 12th, games will come alive at the Game Awards, streaming live around the world. Hey, I'm Geoff Keighly, and
So it's
welcome to
right
the
there.
nominee
Yeah,
announcement. This
All right,
year
guys,
we are going to
so let's get
celebrate
into it.
the
Let's
best
see.
in video games and esports like we always do, and give you a preview of what's next with surprise new game announcements, world premieres, and special video game-inspired musical performances. Right now, though, let's get to the nominees. And remember, you can help select the winners by voting at thegameawards.com and via Google search voting. For Best Narrative, the nominees are A Plague Tale: Innocence, Control, Death Stranding,
John G
Disco
says a
Elysium,
Mario game might be.
and The Outer Worlds. Best Art Direction, presented by Samsung QLED. The nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Grease, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and The Legend of Zelda.
Oh man, he ain't even.
For Best
Never
Score
mind.
and Music,
They're going
those
too
nominees
much.
are
He's
Kate
just dropping
Fire,
them.
Right.
Death
I guess
Stranding,
we'll just talk about this stuff.
Devil
then.
May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. The nominees for Best Performance are Ashley Birch as Parvati Holcomb in The Outer Worlds, Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden, Control,
I do like the music in
Laura
Death
Bailey
Stranding.
as Kate Diaz, Gears 5, Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff,
Interesting
Death
how,
Stranding,
how long Kingdom Hearts
Matthew
took to come
Peretta
out,
as
and it's
Dr.
only been.
Casper Darling, Control, and Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding. Games for Impact recognize a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message. The nominees are Concrete Genie, Grease, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, and Sea of Solitude. For Best Ongoing Game, the nominees are Apex Legends from Respawn, Destiny 2 from Bungie, Final Fantasy XIV from Square Enix,
Death
Fortnite
Stranding.
from Epic Games,
feel like-
and Tom Clancy's
Oh,
Rainbow Six Siege
okay,
from Ubisoft.
okay.
For Best Independent Game, the nominees are Baba Is You,
Division.
Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds,
I know we don't play that, but people
and
love Final
the
Fantasy
Untitled
14.
Goose Game.
Oh.
Best Audio Design. Those nominees
Okay.
are Call
Division
of Duty
2
Modern
left out.
Warfare, Control, Death Stranding, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. For Best Community Support, an award that recognizes developers that respond to the community, Apex Legends,
I just read Call of
Destiny
Duty.
2, Final
For audio
Fantasy
design?
14,
Okay.
Fortnite, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. What's interesting there is that all the nominees are the same nominees as Best Ongoing Game. For Best Mobile Game, the nominees are Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sky Children of Light, and What the Golf. For Best VR AR Game, the nominees are Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, and Trover Saves the Universe. For Best Action Game, the nominees for 2019 are Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears
Saber is
5,
great.
and Metro
Hey,
Exodus.
big
In
ups
the
to No
genre
Man's
of
Sky.
Best Action Adventure
They are the
game,
little-
those
they keep
nominees
going.
this year are Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and Sekiro:
Hey,
Shadows
first
Die
shout out
Twice.
for Metro
For the
Exodus.
best role-playing game, this year's selections are Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy XIV, Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and The Outer Worlds. In the best fighting game category, the jury has selected these nominees: Dead or Alive
Outer
6,
Wilds, Disco
Jump
Elysium,
Force,
sure.
Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown,
Boo.
and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The best family game, the nominees are
Mortal Kombat is gonna
Luigi's
win.
Mansion 3,
At least I don't.
Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Yoshi's Crafted World. All 5 nominees from Nintendo. The
Death
best strategy
Stranding.
game nominees are Age of Wonders, Planetfall, Anno 1800, Fire Emblem 3 Houses,
Resident
Total War
Evil
3 Kingdoms,
2.
That would be great.
Tropico
I want that
6,
to be in family
and
games.
Wargroove. The best sports racing game. Those nominees are Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, Dirt Rally 2.0,
I know one of these games.
eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2020, F1 2019, and FIFA 2020. In the category of best multiplayer game, here are the nominees: Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99.
Man, some of these
Tom
names
Clancy's
are just
Division 2. At the Game
like,
Awards,
just words put
selected
together?
Yeah.
developers who make their
It's a
first
scribble
ever
scrabble.
game. This year, the nominees for Fresh Indie Developer presented by Subway are
I can see
Studio
that.
Zom for Disco Elysium,
People love Tetris. There you
Meta
go.
Oh.
Studio for Greece, Dead Toast Entertainment for My Friend Pedro,
I love how
Mobius
the
Digital
chat
for
on
Outer
their
Wilds,
thing is just people
Mega
yelling
Crit
games.
for Slay the Spire, and House for Untitled Goose Game. In the category of Content Creator of the Year, the nominees are Courage, Dr. Lupo, Ewok, Gref, and Shroud. Now let's turn to the eSports Awards, recognizing the absolute best in eSports in 2019. The nominees for Best Esports Game are Counter-Strike Global Offensive,
I don't know any of these
Dota
people.
2, Fortnite,
I've heard
League of
Shroud.
Legends, and Overwatch. For Best Esports Player, those nominees are
Is your
Luna,
boy gonna be in here?
Faker, Perks, Simple, and Sinatra. For Best Esports Team, the nominees are Astralis, CSGO Team,
I'm wondering if
G2
some of the
Esports, League of Legends, OG, Dota 2, San Francisco Shock, the Overwatch League, and Team Liquid,
I know Booger.
CSGO. Cloud9 had won that award for 3 years in a row, but this year is not nominated, so there will be a new winner come December 12th. For Best Esports Event, the nominees are the 2019 Overwatch League Grand Finals, EVO 2019, the Fortnite World Cup, IEM Katowice 2019,
Oh.
the League of Legends World Championship.
You always wonder how these
2019,
people are picked.
and
Like, why
the
weren't they
International
nominated?
2019. Here are your nominees for Best
again, I'm
Esports
wondering
Coach.
how much there's a controversy
Adrian
that's
from
going
Team
on in
Liquid,
Hong Kong.
Kane
How does
from
that
Team
play into
Liquid,
some of these nominations?
Rabs from G2 Esports, Coma from SK Telecom T1, Soksha from OG, and Zonic from Astralis. The nominees for Best Esports Host,
I'd really love to
Shots.
follow an esports coach.
Machine.
Like how
What they do?
Red
Yeah.
Eye, Golden Boy, and Candace. And now on to the final two awards. For Best Game Direction, which recognizes outstanding creative
Dreadlock?
vision and
Ben
innovation
Kington?
in game direction and
Or
design,
19.
the nominees
Did
are
you catch the live stream?
Control from Remedy, Death Stranding from Kojima Productions, Resident Evil 2 from Capcom, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice by From Software, and Outer Wilds from Mobius Digital.
Death Stranding.
And finally, here are the 6 games selected by our jury as the ultimate expression of
I can see
creative
that.
and technical excellence. Game of the Year. The nominees are Control from Remedy and 505 Games, Death Stranding from Kojima
6.
Productions and Sony Interactive Entertainment, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from Bandai Namco, Sora, and Nintendo, Resident Evil 2 from Capcom, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice by From Software and Activision, and The Outer Worlds from Obsidian and Private Division. There you have it. Those are your nominees. Who
Oh!
you think should win? Well, you can help select the winners in all categories
Oh!
by voting for your favorites at thegameawards.com and via Google. Just type TJ
Oh!
Vote into the search bar. There is so much more to share with you guys about this year's show in the weeks ahead, the world premieres, special guests, and more surprises. Follow the Game Awards on Twitter for updates and tune in live on December 12th for a global celebration of games.
TGA vote.
Maybe the Entitled Goose will also be there. See you live for the Game Awards on December 12th, streaming everywhere.
All right, that's enough, Jeff. We'll be there.
Let's finish out what you about to say. Let me switch back over to us for the full screen over here.
Yeah. We'll be there, Jeff.
Okay.
So there's 11 minutes. All right.
He got through those nominees quick.
I told you, man. So,
I need him
Damien
to learn how to
Estrada,
make an
what's
announcement
up?
show.
hey man, he like, as soon as he said best narrative, he was like, da-da-da.
Like, well, okay, cool.
Yeah, we're not writing these down.
Okay,
So let's start with what we noticed. Let's start with what you noticed right off the bat.
I wonder what the cutoff times for games are. Because a lot of people liked Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It didn't get nominated for anything.
So what you're asking is, what is the cutoff in terms of like the Oscars?
Yeah.
Like, in other words, your movie has to be released in...
Yeah, for... I want to see when I was pretty sure Super Smash Bros. Came out last year. I feel pretty confident about that. But I wonder if it was late last year and so it didn't get nominated for anything.
Go down.
Yeah, December 7th, 2018. Thought so.
Okay.
So that was probably after the cutoff time.
Type in Resident Evil on Red Dead Redemption. See what date that was. Scroll.
Shut up.
October 26th. Okay, so it did come out in October.
Yeah. Tell me. I know because I got it day one.
No, you didn't.
I said October. You said November.
I said you didn't know when it came out.
I said October.
Yeah, you said October or November.
I said October 1st. So that's the one I meant.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know exactly what their nomination cutoff time is, so that lets you know, okay, don't look for this game. And I think that's one of those things where we know so much about the nomination process and so much about the Oscars that it's been going on for so long that it's, I don't want to say it's transparent, but we all know the process. So I wonder what the process is for these games, like the inner workings. I'm not here to tell Geoff Keighly what he should do, but it would be nice to get more of an inner workings of how these games get nominated. What's the committee?
If you go to the website, they show you it's like big name people from reputed outlets. Probably like people like your Greg Miller's from Kind of Funny, maybe not Pierce Schneider since he's like the EIC of IGN, but people like Ryan McCaffrey, probably Tina Meany, those type of people there, stuff like that. People from Polygon. So those people usually are the judges that make up the overall stuff who pick the games. Death Stranding got a lot of nominations.
Of course it was.
And I recognize that the game is an achievement. I will play it more, but I don't need to play it right away. I think Kojima needs to be reeled in. And
But I guess what I'm thinking is, you're saying that now? Could it be part of? Do you think you would change your opinion after you finish the game?
Oh, I 100% expect my opinion will be worse after I play the game.
Okay.
Only because Kojima's stories, even when he was at Konami and had some sort of people over him, his stories were still crazy. And sometimes, like, these threads don't make sense. This is just a fun game, and I like the character Solid Snake. But these stories are not great.
Okay.
Like, they're not told well. Some of your name choices, like Die Hard Man and Dead Man, like, it's on the nose, but it's fine. It's not, so for somebody who wants to be a movie maker and wants to make movies,
He said eventually.
He said Kojima Productions is, like, starting to make movies now.
I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, I don't either, but he said it.
He
probably just said him like, "Hey, boss man, not yet, player. We not there."
I don't see how that's going to happen.
But Kojima said, "Hey, I do what I want."
Okay, we'll see. I will say this for as far as like, I think it's interesting. So let's get to some of the comments, and we'll get back. John G says, "What's the time frame for games to be on the market and be considered for an award?" That's what we want to know, John G. We would really like to know.
I'll go on here and look that up.
What that time frame is, because Jedi Fallen Order wasn't even mentioned, and I wonder what the sweet spot is.
Because we saw games. Probably the latest game was probably Death Stranding on the list.
Yeah.
But we saw games that came out in January, or I was going to say Monster Hunter, but the Iceborne is expansion. Resident Evil 2 came out either February or March. That was mentioned. So I mean,
same thing. But it's one of those things where I would like to know that. Damien Estrada, Death Stranding winning it all. I would honestly agree with you if last year hadn't happened, because we thought the same thing with Red Dead Redemption. It was winning a lot of awards, but then when it came to the big award, it did not win.
Rightfully so. In my opinion.
So, no Kingdom Hearts or Days Gone for Game of the Year. I'm going to be honest with you, neither one of those games are Game of the Year material. Played Kingdom Hearts 3, not Game of the Year material. Played Days Gone, and I like Days Gone. Days Gone is not Game of the Year material. And I love Days Gone. Like, really love it. Own it. Play it. Go back. I love the mechanics, but it's the story structure itself. You want to talk about a fetch quest? That's one as well. Rainbow Six Siege wasn't that years ago. Yes, but it's a continuing game that they continue to add more content to.
More operators and everything.
And so you're going to see that as an ongoing game. They're looking at Rainbow Six as their CSGO to a certain extent. So that's why you're going to see them. Spider-Man came out last year.
Yeah, it got nominated for stuff last year. I don't think it won anything.
Yeah,
like Yuri Lowenthal was nominated for Best Voiceover. For
Spider-Man was last year. Madden wasn't even nominated. And I'm going to be honest with you. Hot take from me. Madden is overrated.
Like compared to what though?
Thank you.
Continue.
No, you just proved my point. Compared to what? What other game is there that you can play football because EA has the exclusive rights to the NFL,
Right.
so there's no other game that's actually going to challenge them to do something different.
Right, but why does that make it overrated?
Because it is overrated. Because in other words, you can't say you're the best game if you're the only game.
I mean, sure you can. They do.
No, you can't.
They do it.
I understand that, but that doesn't make it true. So that's why that's my hot take for Madden. If Madden wants to be the best game, honestly, the NFL, what they should do is allow the license to be made by not just a select group. Open the license and make sure that there are multiple NFL games available. Mm-hmm. And that will allow you to have not just parity, but it will force EA to do things differently.
If you compare it to like basketball, you have your NBA Live. Well, when they make it, you have NBA Live and NBA 2K. And having both those games out there definitely forced each other to be better. And I think 3 of the last 10 years, there has not been an NBA Live game because it was too trash. They didn't even want to bring it out. Mm-hmm. Most recent NBA season, they didn't make an NBA Live because they want to focus on next generation.
And see, and that's why I said, if competition is good, and I think EA with its hold on, and I understand NFL 2K. I feel like there should be more competition than just 1 or 2 games. Miles, I miss NFL Game Day. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to go back to when we had Joe Montana's football and we had Boja. We don't need that. But let there be more games.
Those were fun.
I mean, they were fun. But make more. Allow there to be more NFL games, and that's just my hot take. So, what are you still looking up?
I'm trying to look up. Our internet's not great, so I can't look up on their website because I want to see. They have like an about section that kind of tells you, oh, here's the criteria. It's from this time to this time, but okay. I can't look it up here because nothing wants to work.
So,
were there any trends that you noticed in terms of not
Control?
A lot? Control, yeah. Control was nominated for a lot of stuff. Death Stranding was nominated for a lot of stuff. I guess we don't need that anymore, right?
No.
They were nominated for a lot of stuff. Kingdom Hearts was nominated maybe once or twice.
Shouldn't have been. Ain't that great. We played it.
Yeah, it is a lot of these games that have taken years and years to come out. I don't know that they've lived up to the hype. For those diehard fans, certainly, I'm sure they love Kingdom Hearts, but what we played, somebody who has played the other ones, what I played did not make me want to go back to it. I haven't had a chance, and then somebody who's new to it, you didn't care about it at all, really.
I don't like the fact that there was not a lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
It was, you talk about Kojima's got cutscenes. Kingdom Hearts is nothing but cutscenes.
That's true.
And so I want to play the game. I want to, IMAX, you ain't getting that game anytime soon. So go ahead and give up the ghost on that.
They talked about
it ain't coming back.
With players getting paid,
it ain't coming back.
There's a chance it could come back.
I'm telling you right now, we'll see Death Stranding 2 before we see NCAA football.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just gonna put it out there right now. Hot take number 2. When I play a game, especially a game, and this is something that I know game makers struggle with. How do you make a game that's a sequel to a franchise that is long, storied, and treasured, but also make it accessible for new fans. And I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 was not that game. It was made for the fans.
Yeah.
So I missed the boat on Kingdom Hearts. I don't mind missing the boat on it. I appreciate everybody, but it just wasn't for me.
So you were talking about one thing that you noticed was Division 2. Talk more about that. You said it was left out of what?
Best ongoing game.
Do you disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. The games, they went so fast. We almost need to figure out a place where we can see all the games.
Probably on their website.
See if it works on this computer, because it doesn't work on the phone.
It obviously works on this computer because we still see the chat.
Well, I mean, I don't mean nothing.
Thought I'd be off my game today. You
Game
really
of
off.
the awards?
Well, I've just typed it in because I knew I would get.
You didn't know nothing.
Yes, I did. Oh man, I thought they'd have it up over here.
I worked out for you, huh? You playing?
Ha!
Shut up.
I was hoping to go the easy route, but it'll be up here. Because I bet you that was pre-recorded, and they just played it, and then as soon as he got finished, if they're smart, they uploaded everything.
Maybe everybody's going to the website because nobody could remember what all the games were, and so maybe that's crashing stuff. That would be nice, just in terms for us.
So, personally, I feel like the Division 2, and again, I'm biased because I like the Division 2. I like Destiny 2 as well. But Destiny has always, since its inception, listened to fans and has definitely changed how they handle stuff and how they do stuff. So I can appreciate them getting nominated. Wow. This is weird.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to go to the website right now, and it's going through some stuff. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Jeff, friend of the show, Geoff Keighly, fix your site, man. It's not clean right now.
Oh, I got an idea. Keep talking.
Oh, go to that.
Well, I was gonna.
Oh, 29 categories. That's why. Okay. I'm trying to think of anything I noticed trend-wise. They didn't do like a best of PlayStation, a best of Xbox, a best of Nintendo, or like specific console games.
Have they done that before?
I can't remember. Chat, let me know. I feel like they've done that in the past. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they're not worried about that. I didn't see a lot of Nintendo games nominated this year. I saw Luigi's Mansion.
There's a reason for that.
I saw Fire Emblem, Three Houses, and that was about it. And those are probably the biggest titles that come out of Nintendo overall.
There's a reason for that.
Mario Tennis Aces wasn't nominated as a sports game, which was interesting.
I stand by my Nintendo bias that they make just okay games and they have very few standouts.
Oh, that's not true at all.
The nominations bear out.
Well, no, those weren't like Nintendo produced games were nominated more than Xbox.
You just said that there weren't a lot of Nintendo games.
Right, but you're saying like they weren't. What I'm saying is I thought there would be more, but there are standouts.
I'm saying that there are standouts, but there are not that many because I think Nintendo makes games for Nintendo people. It's like Apple makes Apple products for Apple people. Nintendo makes Nintendo games for Nintendo people.
Okay.
And they're happy with their little slice of the gaming world to continue to make that content. And very rarely will they make something that crosses over that catches everybody's attention. That's like, oh my gosh, like that.
Okay.
And every year, I feel like I'm proven right that they Link, whatever, great game. Breath of the Wild.
It's called Breath of the Wild.
Whatever.
Learn Legend of Zelda.
Whatever. I don't care.
Link.
The Link game.
The Link game. Get out of here.
Great. Awesome. What's the other game that's on that level?
Super Mario Odyssey.
It's another, Super Mario game?
I mean, it's not just another Super Mario game.
So you got, 2 franchises y'all got that are just...
Yeah, I mean, you got iconic characters, though. You got Donkey Kong. You got Samus from Metroid.
What else y'all got?
Super Smash Brothers.
Another Mario game?
But you're making it sound like people aren't buying it. Like that's the best-selling fighting game.
I didn't say people aren't buying. What did I say?
But you said only Nintendo.
That's what I'm saying is they make Nintendo games for Nintendo people who continue to buy the same game over and over again with the same characters.
But you also said like they don't branch out to other bases.
I'm saying,
but Super Smash Brothers is like the best-selling fighting game.
It is, and that's very. And what did I say? Very rarely do they make a game that crosses all boundaries. You got one.
You don't just have one.
You got one.
I just named two others.
Who?
Legend of Zelda.
With the same characters.
So you're mad that they don't make new IPs?
I'm saying that they don't make new IPs, but they also keep regurgitating the same thing over and over again.
But like all studios do that.
I think some studios take a chance.
I mean, you have 5 Metal Gear games. I actually have probably like 10 Metal Gear games.
True. I agree with that. But Kojima also made other games.
He made Death Stranding. That's one other game.
Zone of Enders, sir? You Philistine?
I mean, Zone of Enders is fine.
Whoa.
Actually, I do like Zone of Enders. I just want to
see. I knew he was gonna do that.
I do like Zone of Enders a lot.
But no, and that's why I say Nintendo doesn't do well at this thing because you need a very big cross section, and you don't get that. Okay. And so that's why you don't see them doing a big showing at these events. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm quite sure the chat will tell me.
Beautiful Joe 3. Yeah, Beautiful Joe was fun.
See?
But again, it does go back to Leroy saying it's not a new IP. It's kind of hard to make a new IP that's going to land with people too, because there's always an inherent automatic fan base you have with doing a sequel as opposed to a new IP.
Yeah.
You're kind of worried about that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a Beautiful Joe 3.
Well, sure. And also a company, and let's be honest, let's look at the reality of gaming, movies, whatever. It takes a lot of money to make a game. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of energy. So if you're going to make a game and you are going to put it out there, you want to make a return on your investment. And what's going to be easier to do? Another game that already has a devoted fan base, or taking a chance and throwing something out there and ended up making Order 1888. Now, you could, again, Horizon Zero Dawn was a new IP, a new franchise, and it did well. But for every one of those, you get a game that you
got your Knack 1 and your Knack 2 that didn't sell as great.
See what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that, and I'm not knocking Nintendo for what they do. Their business model works for them. Great. But I think that business model does not lend when it comes to these major game awards.
I'm laughing at Damien because he said, where the hell was Stranger Things video game? I feel like you're joking. I hope you are. Or maybe you're serious. I don't know. I haven't actually played it, but I looked at it. It wasn't something I was like, I got to play this.
Is that the 8-bit game that they made?
I looked at it. It didn't. I wasn't like, I got to play this game.
I'm interested to see how well those games do.
Well,
these throwback to 8-bit
they're making a Streets of Rage 4 that looks incredible. The art style on Streets of Rage 4 looks great. But you remember like when Scott Pilgrim came out and then they made like an 8-bit version game of that? That was a lot of fun. So there is joy to be had in those games, and there is a fan base for those for sure.
Kind of like what Far Cry did with the, was it Far Cry 3 or 4?
Oh, Dragon?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a nice tongue-in-cheek style game.
So.
Astral Chain, yes. The one I didn't mention Astral Chain to this because it was published by Nintendo but made by Platinum Games, which Platinum Games is fine, but it's not a Nintendo first party. But that's a big Nintendo game.
Now, this is an interesting one. I wonder why Ghost Recon wasn't nominated. Damon Estrada, because Ghost Recon wasn't that good.
I didn't play it, but it didn't seem to be.
And that came out from the maker themselves.
Yeah, Ubisoft talked about it.
Ubisoft was like, yeah.
This
wasn't that great.
Said, hey, we made a mistake. We're going to go back to the drawing board, try to fix it.
And they tried to fix it. And Ghost Recon, I don't want to say it was so bad because I think it was a solid game. I think it's an okay game. But it didn't do well enough that they literally changed their entire gaming lineup from Watch Dogs to what was the other one that they pulled? They actually backed up and said we're gonna wait to redesign a lot of our games.
Whatever the pirate Skull and Crossbones game got pulled. Gods and Monsters got pulled. You said Watch Dogs got pulled, and 2 other ones that I can't remember. Like they pushed them back to
they were like, look,
end of next year.
We need to look at how we're making these games, so that's why you're not going to see Ghost Recon. At least that's why you're not going to see Breakout. Let's see. I just bought a 360 last month to play NCAA football, and Dreadlock. That's the only way you gonna be able to play that game.
I kind of want to go back to GameStop and pick up an NCAA game because that is fun to just kind of change players' names and be like, oh, I'm playing with this person. Storm Shadow. You keep asking questions. Sorry about the Storm Shadow. Yeah, I have not played Control yet. I want to because I like the people at Remedy. I enjoy Remedy. I like Alan Wake. I like the idea of Quantum Break. I haven't played it yet, but I want to play that. And Max Payne, the first Max Payne game from Remedy, cool. I've heard Control, interestingly enough, the controls aren't great in it, but the story's pretty cool.
I heard the story's amazing.
So yeah, I definitely want to play it, and probably with Black Friday sales coming up, I would probably pick it up for $20-$30 for Control.
Fallout wasn't nominated, and there's a reason why.
Yeah, I mean...
Fallout is one... Outside of Death Stranding, Fallout is one of the most divisive next-gen games that we have right now.
Yeah, I think the general consensus, is that Fallout, the new one, the Fallout 76 or whatever, is kind of broken and buggy. And they've tried some ways to fix it, but their most recent news about them kind of making a subscription service for Fallout where people were paying extra money on top of spending money for the base game, nobody really wanted to do that for all the stuff you could do.
Yeah. So that's why you're not going to see...
Game Awards is broke.
I mean, they shut it down.
Yeah, everybody's going to the Game Awards site now. It's broke.
So, so let's talk about what we saw in... Now, for me, I will say this. Division 2 being left out to me was a little... I felt some kind of way about that. Audio for Call of Duty.
Yeah, so
disagree with that. One of the things that I did not like as I'm playing Call of Duty, whether it was playing multiplayer with one of my cousins or playing the story missions, was the voices were barely audible while you're running and fighting.
Were you playing with headphones or like surround sound?
I was playing with a surround sound. So maybe it might have been better with headphones. But that, if you're going to do best in audio, that shouldn't be an issue.
Right, it should work everywhere.
And that's why I say for me. So like as Price was barking orders, as you were listening to people, the stuff going on in the game was so loud that it was hard to decipher what you were supposed to do at certain times as you were giving prompts and commands. Now again, I didn't play with headphones at the time when I got it to play it. So that's my take. So I feel like you can't be nominated for an audio award because to me that was one of the things that stood out in the game. That was one of the things
because the audio is usually good.
Yes, right. and the Infinity Ward usually does a really good job of making sure whether you're on headphones or you're playing it that you can tell what's going on. And to me, they didn't do a good job. And that just may be me, but that's how I would have voted.
One game that I really did enjoy in terms of audio, and I've said I'm not the biggest fan of Death Stranding. It's fine. But one thing that I do like about Death Stranding, in addition to the social media aspects and working people, I think the sound design, we're not sound design, but like the score is nice. Oh, yeah. Like those parts where you're walking over the mountains into that vast, landscape and you hear the music playing, it's really great.
The one thing about that music playing, I knew I wouldn't go get attacked.
Oh, really? Is that kind of a cue? Like, oh.
I was like.
Because they probably want you to hear the music.
I was like, ooh, I'm safe.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that.
I was like, ooh. I was like, because that whenever I was like, oh, there's no music, damn it.
Right, something.
I was like, oh, here I go, BT surfing.
Okay.
So let's get to the Game of the Year awards, the actual nominations. So it was actually 6 awards. We got
nominees, not awards. Nominees.
You're right.
I'm just saying. I just want to make sure. Nominees. Touche, sir. All right.
So here are the Game of the Year nominees. Control.
Yep.
Death Stranding.
Yep.
Super Smash.
Yep.
Resident Evil 2. Sekiro. Outer Worlds. I like the fact that there are...
It's a variety?
Yes. So you had Control, which is an action game.
Yeah.
Death Stranding, which is an action adventure.
Yeah.
Super Smash fighting. Resident Evil 2.
Actually, you know what?
What?
Are those 4 all in the action adventure game? Now that we said that,
Well,
in the category, I think they were
to a certain extent, but I think Sekiro falls into more of the Demon Souls type hard, slasher type game.
Yeah.
I think Control is more of your, how do I put this? Fantastic games where you have powers. Whereas Resident Evil is just a straight. So it's a survival horror, but it's more of a shooter. And Outer Worlds, which is an RPG. Mm-hmm. So I think you hit a lot of different beats in the variety of the games. But I do think you're right that there's that 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think those 4 were in that one category for action adventure, which is interesting. So to me, it's interesting to see Super Smash Brothers.
In Game of the Year?
Yeah, that is now.
Just after you were champion.
No. What I'm saying, I think that's interesting because I think it does show some of the power that Nintendo still has to put out. Okay. Not Game of the Year nominees. I don't think it'll win.
What if it does?
I mean, maybe it splits the vote somehow. I think it could come down between Death Stranding and Outer Worlds. Because people have said 2 things about Outer Worlds. The characters are really inventive and fun, mm-hmm. and it's not as long as other RPGs, and they found that refreshing. Yeah. It's not like a Witcher 3 that can be 80 and 100 hours. You can beat Outer Worlds in like 20, 30 hours.
Polygon did a thing that says the days of 80-hour RPGs are over. Yeah. And praising Outer Worlds, saying this is what needs to happen from now on. And we saw 2 of the voice actors? I know we saw at least one of the voice actors nominated for
Outer Worlds. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's
Laura Bailey. Shout out! You're getting nominated for Kate. She did a great job as Kate in Gears of War 5.
So it's I think now again that's interesting. Gears wasn't nominated for a lot of stuff.
I think I saw it maybe twice.
Yep. Metro Exodus, another game that was a AAA game that a lot of people liked, mm-hmm. was not nominated for a lot of stuff. And I liked Metro Exodus. And the bullets, the fact that you had to save your bullets, and I liked it. So that's just me. I thought, 2 things that I knew were going to be on this list. I knew Death Stranding was going to be up here.
Look at Avery. Shout out Avery. I don't know when we get in our own game, man. I don't know. You work on that, I guess.
We don't even have our own stuff. What are you talking about? This don't belong to us. Let news have something.
Yeah.
I'll come downstairs and it'll be gone and it'll be a plant sitting there, like the last time.
Oh, man.
It was interesting what wasn't there. Gears wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Metro Exodus.
And again, maybe when the site comes up, we'll do an addendum to this video to figure out what the cutoff time is. But I'm not saying it has to be Game of the Year, but it wasn't nominated for anything Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, was it? Which is interesting only because the fact that it's a Star Wars license probably means there's a good chance the audio is going to be great, just because audio design in Star Wars stuff is usually stellar. Mm-hmm. So there was no audio mention for anything for Star Wars stuff.
I mean, there was nothing mentioned, so I think that's...
We got to figure out what the cutoff time was. Because there's only a week between Death Stranding and Jedi. So I wonder if in that week they're like, oh, missed it.
I'm also wondering, too, because Oscars does this. The Oscars will release something like early in select markets, which gets it into the Oscar category.
Yeah.
Did Death Stranding, because didn't it come out like maybe a couple of days early overseas, or did it
I thought it was a worldwide release.
Okay. I'm wondering, because is there a way for them to drop a game in a market and say, oh, we dropped it really here, mm-hmm. and so that allows them to be entered into this award? And that's what I'm wondering about that.
Damien Estrada, he had 2 comments there. The first one, Injustice 2 against Mortal Kombat 11. A couple things with that. Injustice 2 came out last year. Definitely came out last year because NetherRealm Studios alternates between Injustice one year and Mortal Kombat the next. Mm-hmm. So Injustice probably wouldn't have made the cutoff time for that. But that would have been interesting to see which one, if they were able to go against each other, which one would have been in the fighting game community.
I know game makers are not doing this. But I also know in the future, depending on how this bump in sales does, you're going to start seeing strategies as far as like, don't release this game yet because this game is coming out, so it doesn't overlap into.
Well, they do that to a certain extent.
And I think with Game Awards, and I think if you start to see a bump in sales, you're going to start to see that even more.
Mm-hmm.
Bring this out in this time because we feel that this is going to be nominated or this is going to win something. I think you're going to start seeing that kind of stuff because I'm telling you right now, don't release anything the month Last of Us 2 comes out. Just go ahead and clear. Game release dates are going to be like movie release dates because Last of Us 2, go ahead and give up the ghost.
John G asked, did they have an indie game of the year category? I think they did. Everything went by so fast, I couldn't tell you what was in it.
Dude, we tried. We tried to write stuff down.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
One thing that popped up, though, was...
I knew it. Good job, Jeff.
Thanks for the show, Geoff Keighly. Glad you got on that.
He heard me.
Yeah. I'm sure you didn't have your minions doing this or whatever. I'm sure you did it
personally.
They did mention... Gosh, you got trolled. He's like, yeah, try this out.
Jeff! Told me it was up!
Disco Elysium. I mentioned that at the beginning. That is a game that it's a really cool idea of this guy dealing with like mental issues and his psyche and leveling up different parts of his mental acuity, which is a crazy idea you haven't really seen. And that's coming to consoles next year, so I can't wait to play it on consoles. It looks really cool on PC, but that got nominated. Grease also got nominated, and that was an interesting indie game.
I love that it's called Grease, but it's spelled Gris.
Yeah, because why not? I don't know.
Games.
What is FE3H? Sakun 10, tell me what FE3H is, or somebody else let me know. I know DMC 5, I got that, but what is that one? Do you know?
I want to know why, now that I think about it, why is Devil May Cry not nominated?
For Game of the Year?
Yeah. I'm just asking because
I don't know.
Everybody's like it's a return to the franchise. It's great. It's amazing.
But is it because it's more of the same? And I'll say Resident Evil 2 was a reboot, but it was different.
And it also dropped. Their DLC was free, and their DLC there were like a lot of what ifs. So there was like 4 different, what if old girl who gets killed that you see on the corners table, what if she made it out? Mm-hmm. And so there was like these interesting little vignettes in the game that were free that you could play, that kept the game, that advanced the story a little bit. And I wonder if it got nominated, would Sekiro have been knocked off?
I don't know.
And hey man, what you dropping?
Nothing.
Your wallet. Okay. That ain't gonna be there when we leave. You better get that. Cleaning crew get you.
I definitely enjoyed Devil May Cry 5, or I am enjoying Devil May Cry 5 because it's part of the best game subscription ever in Xbox Game Pass. I'm playing that right now.
Not Google Stadia?
Man, we got another video coming up later this week about Google Stadia. Google, if y'all listen to this, y'all on YouTube, where is my Google Stadia Founders Edition with my 2 controllers?
If you check your tracking date, you'll be able to see it.
Why don't I have it today that I can play Samurai Showdown and whatever the other free game is?
Check your tracking date. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But that brings up this other question. Do certain games, if you nominate this, that means this doesn't get nominated? In other words...
Do you feel like, this kind of represents everything in a category?
Not necessarily represents. In other words, it's almost like... Again, I liken this to movies to a certain extent. You couldn't have Resident Evil 2 if you had Gears 5. In other words, they split the vote to the point where if Resident Evil 2 hadn't come out, Gears 5 would have been there. So you get something where, this is the game, and everybody kind of goes for this one, even though this is a good game. Why didn't you type it in there?
Type what in there?
FE3H.
I wanted to hear from the...
Oh, okay. I mean, but you could see it there.
You can shut up.
I won't.
I know.
Because that's not what I do. That's what I was saying, like, with Devil May Cry, Sekiro came out, changed the game in certain people's minds. So if it hadn't have come out, Devil May Cry would have been up there.
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
kind of like when you watch the Oscars and you're like, if this person hadn't have done this movie, you definitely would have been in there. So I wonder if that's kind of what it is. It's interesting you don't see Greedfall in there.
People did talk a lot about that.
Greedfall is not in there. You see Outer Worlds. So again, that's why I'm wondering, like, if Greedfall had come out and Outer Worlds hadn't, would that have been Fire Emblem 3?
There we go. Okay. See, when you were saying, okay, I know Fire Emblem 3 houses. Okay. When he kept saying, or when Damon and Shada was talking about,
No, it was
or Sakun 10 said that, I thought it was like an anime fighting game.
Oh.
But Fire Emblem House 3 Houses was a lot of fun. The little bit I played of it. I do like a good strategy game, and it was cool to see you jumping from house to house and trying to romance your way with this person or that person to build up your relationship, which is kind of cool.
Another thing you didn't see in Game of the Year nominees, no strategy games.
I mean, yeah, you rarely do.
But I guess if you're going to see, in other words, if you're going to have a game that's one of the best games of the year, and you have categories, what would it take for one of those games to leap from that category to Game of the Year? In other words, what is the criteria and how does that game stand out to make it there?
I think it goes back to your thing of when you talk about it has to cross boundaries, right? Like you say, Nintendo doesn't do that enough. I think strategy games, we need to do that to the point of strategy games like Nintendo games definitely cater to a certain base.
Oh, yeah.
If you like I love the Civilization games, Sid Meier's, all his stuff. I'm really loving Civilization 6 on Switch right now because I can go take it anywhere and play it. But if somebody were to ask me, do I think it's one of the best? I think it's a great game. Am I shocked that it's not on Game of the Year? Not at all, because it's not going to stand out to everybody. I don't know what it would take, but there's some type of way to... I think there's a stigma involved with certain strategy games that, these are only for smart people or people who want to really think about stuff. And I don't think that's true at all, because you can change difficulties to do whatever, but I think there's a stigma with those games. If there's a way to break that stigma and say anybody can play this and it can find fun, then maybe it could jump into a Game of the Year conversation.
I have more thoughts on that I need to think about, because I think I know where you're going, and I think I know how to fix it.
Oh. Leroy gonna fix games, y'all.
Well, at least strategy games.
Okay.
I'm helping them get Game of the Year award nominee.
Okay.
And once they get nominated, I'm going to be like, I'm out. I did my job.
I did my PR for this game.
I helped you out.
Okay.
Because I think that's one of the things where I think, and I keep saying I think, I apologize, guys. One of the things that I've noticed is if you're going to make a game of the year, you're right, it has to have a cross-section. And... I want to see what it was.
Oh.
Now we can't see what it is.
I can say it later.
But one of the things I think, and you bring up a good point, does it have a cross balance of new users, old users? Does it bring in new people? And I think strategy games can do that. I just think someone needs to build a strategy game that would get somebody like a Lorne and somebody like an Avery and somebody like me. Because I've played strategy games, I like them. I don't necessarily hate them, but I don't go out of my way to buy them. And I think you need a strategy game that would be like, okay, that's interesting or that's different. And I don't see any of them doing that. And I don't see, now this goes to me where Nintendo could do it. If they did an IP and took one of their beloved IPs and said, we're going to break the mold, we're going to make a strategy game that everybody can play. I think that's where Nintendo could do something different.
They had that, like Fire Emblem Three Houses is a strategy game for Nintendo Switch that's like that, but it's probably not for everybody.
Nope, because it's an anime game.
Well, I mean, sure.
Because what I'm saying is, if you're going to do something like that for everybody, maybe not do a genre that's... When older people think of anime, they don't think of it as a genre that encompasses everything. You know, it's almost like those people who think it's cartoons. No, it's not. It's, you see what I'm saying? So if you're going to do that, you need to do something maybe outside of the anime franchise, so it doesn't get lumped in with everything else.
They had a series, Advance Wars, that is less anime and maybe a little bit easier to digest for strategy games. They haven't made an Advance Wars game in a while, and another company made actually a game that was nominated, Wargroove. It's kind of like an Advance Wars style game, but doesn't have the license. So there are potentials for stuff like that. I also wonder if a lot of strategy games are usually strictly on PC, just because the mouse and keyboard is probably the best way to control that type of view.
Yeah.
Some of them have made their way, like Civilization and other games have made their way to console, but nobody has really, I don't think, has nailed the control scheme for a strategy game on a console or on a controller compared to a mouse and keyboard. So that might be another thing that's holding it back too.
True. This is interesting. I'm shocked there wasn't a nomination for VR video games.
There was. You might have just missed it because everything went by so fast.
Because that's when you had cheered for Blade Wars.
No, Beat Saber.
Same thing.
It's not Blade Wars. It's called Beat Saber.
You know what? From now on, Blade Wars.
Don't you ever call it that? It's called Beat Saber, sir.
It's called Blade Wars from now on.
But
Guys,
it's fun.
made Blade.
Hashtag Blade Wars?
Yep. About to make that go viral, y'all.
Okay. Titan Blade says Death Stranding Game of the Year. Okay. Like, I don't know if you were in the chat earlier. We talked about it. He's enjoying Death Stranding a lot.
I am.
I like it, but it wasn't for me, and I'll go back to it.
I'm going to get to Blue Flag Alpha's comment. Luigi's Mansion 3 should be on Game of the Year. I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I poo-poo Nintendo sometimes, it's interesting. It didn't. Again, another game that did not crack that coveted Game of the Year.
Yeah, but I don't know if it did anything so different. And I feel like a lot of this stuff it's doing things differently that you haven't seen before. I feel like Luigi's Mansion 3 is the best version of the Luigi's Mansion series, and it's evolutionary, but maybe not revolutionary. We've talked about that before, about evolutionary versus revolutionary. Like, it's the best of its kind, but maybe it didn't do enough new things, and maybe that's why it didn't make the cut. But Luigi's Mansion, yeah, they are good games overall. Luigi's Mansion 3 is great, and the multiplayer on it's pretty fun. So yeah.
What was Ace?
Court anime game.
Ace
Attorney.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright. There we go. Phoenix Wright.
Because he had the
spiky hair.
Yeah. Was it spiky or was it? He made him look like a falcon or like a hawk.
I mean, I thought it was just like spiky out.
No, I thought it was like smooth, like it was like kind of like it had maybe one spike here, but then like the back of it went this way.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of Ace Attorney games because they had spin-offs for Apollo Justice, and then Mia and Maya, I think, were his two courtroom assistants who shared a psychic link. Those are fun games. And Phoenix Wright is a great character in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So, yeah. I feel like that's it for us.
What do you think's gonna take it?
I think Outer Worlds. I think it's between Outer Worlds and Death Stranding, to me.
I think it's gonna be Control.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it. I think it's gonna be Control. Because I think Death Stranding is going to be divisive. I think it's going to split the vote.
I like that you're writing it so you remember that it's divisive.
I'm writing it as if it was like a telestrator, so the people at home can see it, like Madden.
So once you finish, I'll put it up to the screen so y'all can see all his work.
Super Smash, I think it's more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I gotta keep going. Resident Evil, I just don't see it getting Game of the Year. Although it would be cool, I just don't personally see it. Sakura is the little horse that could. I think, if anything, I think it's a race between these three games. 1, 2, and 3. I think it's between those. I think these three right here.
So again, you got to say that because they don't know the games you just said.
Hold on, I was getting to.
Okay.
I was getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the 6, and I like Death Stranding. I don't think Death Stranding has a shot. I don't think Super Smash has a shot. And I don't think Resident Evil 2 has a shot. Only because I think Death Stranding is too divisive. I think Super Smash Brothers is more of the same. And I think Resident Evil 2 is a retread. I know as I say that, some people, it's not a retread. I liked it. I loved it. It's still expensive as hell to buy, and that lets you know that it's still selling. Because they usually drop the prices by now when you're like, okay, here it's $10. No, that thing is still up there. The games that I think have a shot in order I think of that they would win: Control number 1, Outer Worlds number 2, and Sekiro number 3. I think because those 3 games do something different, tell a different story, something we haven't seen before, and I think these 2 split the vote, Control and Sekiro. And I wouldn't be surprised if Outer World wins it. I think Control will win it because I think it's so different. And the storyline is so unique. But I could see either one of those 3 winning it all.
Cool. That's his things. You guys keep chatting here in the comments. Let us know what you think is going to be Game of the Year. What do you think got snubbed? What are you happy to see get nominated? Let us know here in the comments. You can say about these people.
I feel Division 2 got snubbed.
Oh.
Best ongoing game, I think it got snubbed. I would like to see that, I don't know, get more shine. Ubisoft listen. I like it when a studio listens to its fans. And Ubisoft definitely listened when they did Division 2. I can't wait to play the DLC. That's my Christmas gift. So I can't wait to go back to New York and all that other stuff. Titan Blade, sad that Jedi Fallen Order didn't make the Game Awards. We need to find out what the cutoff is. Damon Estrada said Vince McMahon must be pissed not seeing WWE.
Oh, I'm sure he don't care.
Does he though?
I don't think he cares. He's fine.
I mean, Game of the Year, yeah, but I do think that division, because they made some great wrestling games in the past, and they've made some terrible ones.
But they haven't had a great wrestling game. That's for another. Oh, you know what? We should get me, Avery, and Erskine on to talk about that. But yeah, they haven't had a good wrestling game from WWE in a while, personally.
But yeah, I'm very excited about this year's Game of the Year awards because I think Geoff Keighly and them put on a great show. It's going to be interesting to see who shows up this year. And I hope they do a better job of, because remember last year they had the whole side thing. The woman who was doing that, you remember that? Remember they were like giving awards off to the side and then going back to the main. I hope they do a better job of that. That's just for me as a director. So I want to say thanks guys for tuning in. Everybody from Titan Blade, Damon Estrada, Rayshawn K. Hold on a second. Edward Sanchez Productions, Sakon, John G, Avery, Storm Shadow, Dreadlock, IMAX, Miles Cage. I want to make sure I get everybody.
Yep. Heroes to Icons?
Where's that?
Between Storm Shadow and Damon Estrada.
Ben Knighton. I don't see that one.
Okay.
I'm scrolling through. And what was the name again?
From Heroes to Icons.
I see it.
Yeah.
From Heroes to Icon. We want to thank you guys for joining us during this nice little Game of the Year award nominee show. Look for us next Thursday when we do our press play. And
this Thursday?
But it is the next Thursday.
Okay.
Oh, you doing the JR on me? Is that what you're doing?
What I'm saying, it is this Thursday, right?
But it's the next Thursday. So next Thursday.
I guess.
Oh, we about to have that fight. All right, guys. Tune in next next Thursday, for our press play where we talk about, I don't know, what we gonna talk about?
Google, you dropping the ball.
I mean, we knew that though.
I didn't know that. My wallet didn't know that.
I tried to stop you. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we're out. Also, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What's the other one?
WOTX.com.
Yeah, that site.
Instagram, Twitter.
I said that.
Facebook. I think you said everything else.
I said that.
Yeah.
All right, like and subscribe. Guys, we're out. Appreciate it.